What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Back at it again with another video, man. Bringing you guys my second to last edition here for the 2024 Battle Wrap-Up Series. Been recapping all the stuff from 2024, the best of the best, and a little hint for the next video, maybe the worst of the worst. But before we get into the video itself, no honorable mentions, so we're going to get straight into the top 5. I want to say Happy New Year's to everyone. Hope everyone had a safe time last night, a good time last night. Hope everybody's feeling good today. And I just want to say thank you one more time. I feel like I've said it every video of this series, but it's been overwhelming amount of love for this series, but really through 2024, it's been a lot of love from you guys. It's been the most successful year for the channel in terms of just people tapping in, you know what I'm saying? I made this channel because I love battle rap and I want to talk to other people that love battle rap, and I feel like day after day, it's just becoming a hub of really people talking about battles, talking about results, and just talking about the sport. And there was a point in time that's all the sport was, the media landscape. I know in years that we've kind of moved away from that, but I take a lot of pride in this channel being like a kind of a center point, a place that people can come to and just talk about all the important stuff that our sport brings. So I want to say thank you for all the support in 2024, and we're going to be kicking it up a notch in 2025. So nothing will be changing. If anything, there'll be more content than ever, and just want to say thank you guys so much, how much it means to me personally. But as you can see, we are going to be talking about my top 5 battle rappers from 2024. And as you can see, it says no order. The only reason for that is because, like the last few years, there is a good chance, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but a good chance I end up on the Champion of the Year panel. And of course, I don't want to give away all the sauce if we have to go up there and make what really in this culture ends up being the definitive rankings for our number ones. It's our MVP award. It's our MVP kind of list. So with that being said, I am going to talk about who's in my top 5. So if you see me on the Cody panel, you are going to know who's in my top 5. You're just not going to know the order of it. Some of these, I think you guys know, are at the top of the food chain right now, definitely earned the talk. And then there might be a spot or two that you might disagree, have someone else that you would sub in for someone, but that's the whole point, is to start that conversation. But like I said, there will be no honorable mentions. We're just going to get into the 5 battlers that I thought had the best 2024. So as for my first nominee for the top 5, this is a battler that in 2022 I thought made a for sure cemented statement that he was top tier. Some would still disagree, as 2023 was a little bit more quiet, especially schedule-wise, but once again sets a new career high and has his best year in battle rap in 2024. And the battler I'm talking about is Swamp, and I love the way he structured his year. I say it time and time again as someone that has repeatedly been on the Cody panel. The cases I love to assess most are 5 to 6 top tiers, dangerous battles where you're giving your maximum effort to each one, and on top of that, not losing any of them clear. And that's all the pieces to success that brings Swamp back around the top 5 conversation like he was a couple years back in 2022. And, you know, everyone knows about the legacy matches he's had. Averb W, T-Rex W, and then Calico being, in my opinion, one of the 5 best battles of the year and Battle of the Night on Winter Madness. But he touched the biggest events of the year: Power Moves, Winter Madness. I guess Chrome with Averb, what was it, Miami Nights, I believe it was called, wouldn't be up there for the biggest events, but he was even on Gnome 14 versus Miss Hustle, who was the reigning woman of the year. So that's another tough one. I had him winning that battle as well. And then the 40 bars battle would be the weakest of all those big looks that he had, but even then he still caught a 3-0, and it was a decent performance. It's not good or great like the rest of his performances, but it was decent and a W. And he's got a little bit more work, one-rounders, giving shots on smaller leagues, and we battled Sheet Happens on OSBL. That stuff obviously is not affecting his work nearly as much as these kind of big fights that he took, but gave a little bit of shots there. But still, the main part of his case is these legacy matches, and this is a guy that for many years, you know, this is a late bloomer. People thought after the Your Honor battle he was ready for stardom, and it took him some years afterwards because of the choking, because of the way he choked twice versus T-Top. Even though he probably had better material in that battle, he shot himself in the foot more times than not for many years. So for him to finally make it here, I feel like 2022, he was top tier, right? But you still had people debating with him. After 2024, there's nothing to talk about. The guy is a star, and, you know, he barely missed the top 5 in 2022. I know I had a part in that mentioning his chokes, and looking back, I've said it a few times, I still would have put him a couple spots up. I think that we went one way and then we went really hard the other way, and in the room sometimes that's just how the momentum goes, debating things. But this year, I find it hard to believe that this guy doesn't end up being top 5. And to me, he is one of the most dangerous battle rappers in the world right now. Thus, why people want big matchups for him still in 2025. And thus, why he makes my list here for the top 5 that we had in 2024. And now moving on to our next nominee. And we're not moving very far, man. We're staying in the South with this one, but a much different path to success for this guy. Not, sticking to just the 5 or 6 top tiers. The guy with 20 plus battles in 2024. And that is Chef Trez, and he's becoming a frequent flyer. He landed number 3 on the Cody list last year, and also for sure, landing number 3 is pretty high. And when I did my top 5 battlers of 2023 video, just like this for Battle Wrap Up, he made it then as well, and he just continued the consistency. And I mean, last year, if we're talking about Swamp, when he made top tier, I feel like Chef Trez definitively made it to top tier last year. Matchups with John, matchups with New Jersey Twerk, his battle with Swamp, which was one of the best on URL, and he was still giving looks and doing good things, battling mid-tiers, battling newcomers. So then he walks into this year, and what does he do? Pretty much off rip. He battles twice in the same weekend. He actually battles twice in 2 days. He battles Fonz for 3 rounds on URL, one of the best battles of the year, goes over to iBattle to face Los Preem, debatably their best talent, and then has another one of the better battles of the year. You can debate that he won both of those battles. He's done so much, battled Excel on Massacre 6, beat Coach Corleone on a smaller league as well. I could not mention all of his small league work. It just wouldn't even be possible. I believe he's got 24 battles in 2024, so his work was off the chain. But then he battled Av and Tay-Rock, and him and Av is the only guy that really gave Av any pushback. I know a lot of people, including myself, have Av winning that battle, but I think it's debatable, probably the only debatable Av had on the year. And then he clearly beat Tay-Rock, and in my opinion, 3-0. I think in most of people's opinion, 3-0. So once again, there's just not much more to talk about. He's just as good this year as he was last year. Nothing changed consistency-wise, and it's to the point where I don't even know how he levels up from this. I don't know how many more top-tier opponents he really has left to face, but he's shown no signs of slowing down, and shout out to Trez, because this is a guy who was already respected in the culture, I don't think to a top-tier level, and then after almost 10 years in the game, maybe over 10 years, I don't know the exact time he started, but going all the way back to the Spit That Heat years, in 2023 and 2024, he is the best 2 years of his career. Man's style is aging like wine, and he's more locked in than ever, and for me, he is for sure, once again, a top 5 battle rapper of the year. And now the next guy we're going to talk about, I just mentioned him in a battle we talked about for Chef Trez, and this is one that is no-brainer. You knew he was going to be on this list, and that is Av. There's really nothing to talk about here. He's got one debatable battle, in my opinion. That's for Chef Trez. And I still have him in the second and the third. I'm just saying, if you look at the voting, everything that happened that night, there's a case for Chef Trez in the first and second, and quite a few people make that case for Chef Trez. But it's not even a minus for Av because it is such a good battle. It's the only debatable he has. He cleared out everyone else this year, and that's from the lower level battles he took or kind of given shots. He battled J2, who was a one-rounder. Hustle from Bash Money, he battled as well. He battled Don Marino this year. Big T, Rosenberg, Marv One, one of his more decent opponents in the first half of his year, and he's expected to beat all those people. His material was still A1. He was dominating, so when he's supposed to dominate, he was, but then he dominated some of his top-tier competition as well. What he did to A-Ward on power moves, a lot of people said it was venturing more into the body direction. I think the first is debatable, but most people would tell you Av 3-0. Hell, Ward pretty much was like, you won on stage, good luck with your Cody award, he was telling him. And then obviously the Hollow to Don battle, which would be, I'd say, his biggest legacy look, right, for how long he wanted the Hollow battle. You can go to my channel for the last 2 years where I've been saying book Av and Hollow. Should have been a big stage SM, should have been in so many situations, but eventually gets him on the trenches and just handles him, man. It's another 2-1. I called it a 30, but at the very least a 2-1 clear with the second and the third. Best year of Av's career, man. Best year of Av's career. There's no clear loss to look at here. There's no downside battle where his performance wasn't that good. He gave the same level of effort for J2 that he gave for Hollow. He gave the same level of effort for the corpse of Big T that he did A-Ward on power moves. You can't stop praising it, so I won't go on and on, but the guy keeps posting he's 10-0, and I absolutely agree with him. And every year, there's 15 people that say they're undefeated. Most of you are lying, but you're supposed to promo it, you're supposed to campaign, so I'm not really mad at the lies per se, but a lot of these guys lie. Av is not lying. He's really been like that. In my opinion, he's really been undefeated. And I'll tell you right now, he's going to be, everyone knows he's top 5, and he's not 4 or 5 for me. You know what I mean? So a true contender to possibly win the Champion of the Year award this year, and without a doubt, one of the brightest bright spots in battle rap in 2024. And then from there, we only got 2 more left. I want to talk about T-Top next, and his is a little bit funnier. It goes to a little bit what I said about Av, right? There's people claiming they're undefeated all year. And T-Top is one of those people, I'm undefeated. I'm undefeated. I have him as a top 5 battler. So we're going to talk about all the reasons I respect his year. He's not undefeated. You know what I'm saying? He went out to the UK and battled Gemini, probably lost that battle. Some people are going to have him, but did not take it maybe fully as serious as he was supposed to. And I know he was like, that was the day after he had another battle. He flew out. So I'm sure he was fatigued, but he got the champ over there, probably gave him an L. Top floor loot was kind of choking and stumbling through that battle. He was still by far material-wise better, but you got to be clean. And then Wusa, as of recently, you got to be clean in that battle as well, right? So with all these kind of blemishes and me disagreeing, how does he still end up being top 5? You got to look at the W's that he has, man. First of all, his best performance this year is versus Chef Trez, who's also here in this 5 shortlist. And his 3 rounds for Chef Trez is a top 5 performance of the year. I'm not going to do a top 5 performance video, just letting you know now, but if I did, T-Top's 3 rounds for Chef Trez would be up there. He was dynamite, judged win for 30K on Politics as usual. His Jerry West performance on URL kind of wiped the floor with Jerry West, man. I mean, just up there material-wise. And then he's got some wins that I don't think people, when you talk about New Jersey Twerk, Danny Myers, and Official, these are 3 clear W's for him, and that counts. It is not easy to beat top-tier competition. Now, for those that have watched those battles, it's not his best night in the office either. You know what I'm saying? Him and Danny, probably the worst battle on Gnome. You know what I'm saying? Him and Official, one of the worser battles on SM, Kings vs. Queens. And then him and Twerk was kind of a nightmare in Volume 11. However, W's are W's. So I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not viewing him as a real contender to win any top battle rapper of the year award. But you know, it's about a medium. Do I critique him to the point that he's out of the top 5? No, he's been too key to this year, too impactful, too many W's that matter versus competition. Chef Trez, New Jersey Twerk, Danny Myers, Jerry West, Official. These are meaningful W's. But at the same time, he probably has a couple more blemishes than he would say that he does. But either way, no matter how you chop it, it's been one of the best years for T-Top in quite some time. I remember there was a period of time that I thought, even if he was still giving good-ish material versus B-Dot, Easy the Block Captain, Coffee Brown, for about 2 or 3 years there, I thought that he really wasn't on the winning side of things. I thought sometimes it showed in his effort, but this year he definitely still gave you far more good than he did bad, and for me, he still sits as a top 5 battle rapper from 2024. And as for the last top 5 nominee, probably a name that you guys were waiting to hear from the beginning of the video, right? And it's the only other guy up there with Av that's been talked about as much, if not more, in these Battler of the Year, who's been the biggest and best battler conversations, and that name is none other than Tay-Rock, and he's got quite the resume himself. I believe he's above 15 plus battles. I have it listed somewhere here in one of these notes. I'm not going to go look for the exact number right now, but he's been overly active, and I remember last year when he placed 7th, which was mad respectable. It's where he was supposed to be placed, and the strength of schedule argument came in again. Like, how could you, count it against these vets? They've battled everyone. They have no one left to battle. Strength of schedule doesn't count for them. Yet the guy popped out this year and battled Big K, Bill Collector, A-Ward, Jazz, Chef Trez, and that's just to name some of the top battles. So I was never hearing that nonsense. There was battles out there for him, and he took it, and in more times than not, he was fantastic. Him and A-Ward, highly impactful. I think it's the most viewed battle on the Riot at the moment. Also, very, very good debatable battle. Technically got the judge result, but that event was a little wacky the way that they did that. Him and Bill Collector made my top 5 battles of 2024. Him and Big K made my honorable mentions for the top 5 battles of 2024. Both super impactful. And then we know the Jazz and Trez plates didn't exactly go his way. I thought he was still very good versus Jazz. I just had him losing every round. It was more of a gentleman's feminine 30, whatever you want to call it. But that's just naming some of the top work that he did. He still battled Jerry West on Gnome and got a W over there, one of the bigger events that happened this year. He still battled Bankhead on Black Ice. I mean, he went everywhere, man. I can't go through the man's entire resume. Everyone that's kept up with battle rap this year knows how much Tay-Rock battled and how good he was for most of the year. Marv won on Winter Madness as well. So his work speaks for itself. He's impact. I'll tell you right now, he's the most impactful battle rapper of 2024. Does that make him the best? That's a conversation we might have a little bit later, maybe a month or two from now. But his name has just been ringing bells from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. His numbers show that. His production shows that. And while there is things that you could definitely say, some L's that he took here and there, man had 15 plus battles, so he's still giving you, if you got 2 or 3 battles you don't like from him, he's still probably got 12 or 13 that are good, if not great. And he's another no-brainer when you talk about the best of the best from 2024. But with that being said, man, that is my list of 5 here. It is in no order, and don't try to be like, oh, he might have put it in order the way he mentioned it. I'm telling you right now, this is in absolutely no order, and you will not know my order until you possibly see me talk on the Cody panel. But this is still my short list of guys that I feel like gave us some of the best product. And like I spoke on earlier with different schedules like Swamp and Chef Trez, there's different paths to success. You got guys here that battled realistically 5 or 6 3-rounders for the year. You got other guys here that have battled over 12 or 13 times just 3-rounders. You got a guy like Chef Trez that has over 20 battles on the year. But in all their different paths, with all their different schedules, I still feel like they gave the best combination of impact and quality, and pretty good win-loss records for everyone here, because you can't necessarily have a losing record and make your way to the top 5. And without getting too detailed, I feel like I gave you guys a pretty decent explanation for why I view these guys as the best of the best from 2024. But just like with every other video we've had, this part of the video is to hear from you guys. I want you to comment down below. I want you to let me know, do you agree with these placements? How do you feel about these specific years? Do you disagree with me with one of these guys? Do you agree with one of them? And of course, do you feel like I missed anyone? I didn't put honorable mentions on here because, it turned into such a long conversation, right? There's so many names that are right on the edge, or maybe you can even debate in there, but want to hear your guys' opinions on those. Who do you feel like I might have missed, and what might be your argument for why they would make the top 5, man? But we're going to have one more battle wrap-up video after this, and then we're going to be back to pretty much like doing the daily reporting, Av versus Averb just got announced. I'm going to mention that in a video soon. And then, of course, we have Chrome 23 this weekend, so tune in to Read the Room, Easy versus Shug, and all the Trenches Town on there. It should be a good one, man. And yeah, it's been J Smo Reviews again here, y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.